Hi everyone, welcome back. Um, I'm so excited to share this New Year's Eve with you all today because today is New Year's Eve. But I wanted to share with you all something that I've been working on personally for about a month now. So, about a month ago in November, I discovered something called a Learn List, and I was a little bit confused about it, just sort of how I'd go about it without being overwhelmed, right? Because a lot of the times when we try to take too much on, when we're so excited to just get started, then we get burnt out easily. But I've been working on it and I think that it actually works. Okay, so it didn't take much. I literally just opened my notes app and on it, I just started typing out things I wanted to learn. This was just the top of my head every time I'd go somewhere. I just came back from ice skating. So this was especially like, oh, okay, I want to learn how to ice skate. And adding things on as I went, I realized that there are so many things I don't know how to do, which is natural, and so many things I want to know how to do. So here's just the baseline few things that I added, and the idea of it is just the sort of scattered thought hobby type things to know. So things like knitting and sewing are hobbies, and they're also techniques and skills that can fall under other careers and active, but for my sake, hobby, right? Now in the next section, I did a instrument list. And in my head, I looked in the mirror and in my head I was looking, I was like, I'm me. And when I introduce myself and I introduce all the my abilities, I want to be able to say, hey, I can speak 5 languages and I can play 7 instruments. A part of me wanted to say, oh, this is unrealistic, but the biggest setback, the biggest limiter we have in our lives is ourselves. So I set the highest goal I could, the highest goal that I wanted to achieve, and that's 5 languages and 7 instruments. Okay, so just really quickly, I wanted to show you a few of the things that I've gotten started with already from my Learn List. And just got started a couple days ago. And this is a reminder to you all because I've been learning this myself and I feel better doing it. Give yourself grace when you're learning new things, when you're trying new things, or when you're trying to reset yourself. Okay? Give yourself grace. You're not going to be an expert immediately. Okay, so one thing I really wanted to learn was how to read music. I'm not sure if this is faced the right way or it might be backwards for you. But I am also a big note taker. So I kind of went through what the staff is, clef, bass, all of that, and then what the letters on the side of the lines mean and the sort of thing. So one thing that I've memorized, I'm not gonna look. Let's see. Every good boy does fine. E, G, B, D, F. Yeah. And then FACE, face. Okay. Every all cows eat grass. I think I got it right. All cows eat grass. Yes. See? Okay, so we're getting there. I'm learning how to read music. And also the note heads and stems. I didn't realize how semi-simple all of this is. Um, but now maybe one day I'm gonna look at a music page and I'm going to say, "Oh man, I know the sound of this song without needing to see the words." So yeah, these are whole notes and then quarter notes and then half notes. And then I kind of went a bit stir crazy with the whole identifying eighth notes, 16th notes, and so on. But you get the picture, okay? I'm having fun learning new things and I'm expanding my brain in a fun way that doesn't feel like a task. So one thing that I really love is the way that cursive is so seamless and effortless and elegant. And I know that people were taught cursive, but I wasn't. So I'm teaching myself. Okay, so the next thing that I am learning on my learn list is Dutch. Now you may be wondering, why are you learning Dutch? That's so kind of random. But apparently next to Frisian, I think the word is, or the language is, it is the closest to English, which is another point that I'd make. Learning new things is already difficult on its own. Having a list of new things to learn can add a lot of pressure. So putting it in order from easiest to hardest in the categories they fall in, for example, instruments and language, build your confidence as you go on to learn more, especially if you want to learn more than one. So because I want to learn more than one language, Dutch, being able to start off with something easy and then progressively build on the languages I can understand, manipulates my mind into thinking that I can just learn it like this. An easy way to think about it is if you were to want to start learning 3 different languages: Mandarin, French, and Dutch. Okay? If you know nothing about none of the languages, don't start with the hardest one. You start with the one that's easiest, so then you can feel yourself becoming more mentally confident about what you're doing. Speaking of easiest to hardest, I said I wanted to learn 5 instruments. So the one that I'm starting with is the harmonica. Harmonica is a fairly easy instrument to learn. And it's so easy to just be able to say, oh yeah, I know how to play an instrument, having one under your belt being the easiest one. So, so right now I'm learning tabs. I think they're called tabs. And sort of how to read it. For example, blow on a tab would just be a regular number. And then draw would be in a number with a negative. Okay, so finally, the last thing I want to talk about is the voice that we hear in our head, our mental image of ourselves, the way we treat ourselves, and how that will reflect in the way that we are living our lives. So, in full honesty, no matter how much I would accomplish, most of the time I would find myself thinking that, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not the best, I'm not this, I'm not that, and it can seriously rock your self-image and your confidence. But as I'm working on my confidence, as I'm working on my mental voice, I found that one of the best methods is journaling. So we hear this all the time from officials to people who just live that life. It's journaling, write it down, this and that. But sometimes we don't know how to go about journaling, and it's a little confusing because it's just like, okay, today I went to the park and then I came home and I took a nap. I feel kind of blah today, I guess. And then you're done. And you probably do it for about 2 or 3 days before you're like, okay, this is doing nothing. But I have a method, okay? Just listen. So like I said, I'm a writer. So I have 3 journals that I use. And really what it does, I just separate the kind of things that I write in it, and it really just helps me clear my mind. But first, let's talk about when is the best time to journal. So typically the best time, I heard in a podcast, the best time to read, write, journal, reflect, exercise is early in the morning. Now, this is just a habit I've picked up on my own in the past month, which is to wake up at 5 a.m. and go to bed at 8 p.m. It was difficult, but it has changed me, okay? So the idea with waking up in the morning and setting your mind right, you pick up your phone, you fill your mind first thing in the morning with all of the social media and how it can sort of put you in a comparison mindset versus spending time with yourself, allowing yourself to get to know yourself and how you feel. you know? It feels amazing. So I use this journal most often, and it is used as more so of a motivational and choppy reflection slash I am book, okay? Is one of the pages. I like to doodle on it too. There's no rules. I write something that I love about myself. I write, what else did I write? How much I'm proud of myself. You know, it's a letter to myself telling me how much I love myself and how much I should love myself. This one is just a bit of a day to day. So the first one was just I am this, I am that, not dedicated to a day or any specific theme, but rather just a letter of love to myself. The second was an I am, reminding myself of my affirmations and what I am. And this one is more so dedicated to a day. Against it, I'd write how it will be peaceful, how it will be hopeful, how it will be exciting. And it's so nice to do a little doodle. It's so much more fun. And it brings it to life, makes you feel like, oh man, I'm colorful, I'm lively, you know? Now this one is the journaling bit. It's the one where you're actually writing, and I admit I don't do it every day, but I do it at least twice a week. In this way, it's keeping me consistent with reminding myself to pay attention to my feelings and reflect. I think it's really important when you journal to not only write what happened, not to only write how you felt, but to also write how you may go about things differently if you feel negative or confused or sad, if you feel angry, or even if you feel happy. Acknowledge what you did today that changed the way you felt, how you handled situations that made you come out of it at peace. This one is about my relationship with God, and not everyone has a spiritual relationship, and sometimes people's relationships spiritually look different, but for me, with Jesus, okay, I make sure that I like to write him a little letter, and it's basically the same idea with the first journal, writing a letter to myself, except I'm writing a letter to God, and I'm just telling him, either in a journal format, this is how I felt today, this is, struggles, I was happy, I love you, I was feeling so excited, all these things, or prayer format, the whole, dear God, thank you for this day, more formal. These are my dreams, I aspire to them, and with you, with me, I know I can achieve them, This book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens. This book is teens, but there is an adult version. This guy's dad actually wrote it, and funny thing, this book doesn't need to just be for teens, because as I approach the end of my teenage days, I realized that this can be applied in real life situations outside of, in the real world as an adult. There's one more thing I want to show you. We need to know how to fall down in order to get up. This is a motivational little piece of paper, and filling your environment with motivation, filling it with positivity and hope and color is something that changes the way you see your life, the way you want to live your life moving forward, and how you see your past. It changes everything. And I've just been filling my life with color. I've been using highlighters, which I didn't do before because I thought they were a bit tedious. No, they change everything, okay? So I'm gonna show you something really quick. This is the wall of my room. So everything on this wall is something that I've made or I've put up. And all of these little motivations are what I wake up to every single morning. So inspiring, so positive, and so helpful. These are little doodles. And yeah, it's really helped me a lot. Now, we've talked about learn lists, empowering yourself with skills you did or didn't know how to do, and just filling yourself up with skills. We talked about journaling and the way that writing how you feel and how you should feel about yourself changes your life, and overall the effects of positivity that you surround yourself with. Now, I hope that you enjoyed. This was very casually talking, and I think I like this better, talking to you guys all casually. So I will see you next year.